What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It's your boy MM2K back again with another episode of the Cloud Gamer Chronicles. This is a special episode. This is pilot episode 4. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna start it off. I'm a little saddened that I have to do this. You can tell by the title that this one's gonna have a little bit of fire and burn to it. And I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible. So here's what's going on, y'all. You can see the title, To Hell with the Proxy War. What do I mean by the proxy war? Well, we have a situation going on with Stadia where, again, Stadia predominates the talk in cloud gaming. Even when you're not talking about Stadia, there's always some context and how better or how worse is this than Stadia. It's always there looming in the background, right? And we have this whole thought process of either Stadia is winding down and going to become a white label or just going to shut down the retail, whatever the case may be, versus Stadia just reallocated assets to redo their business model. They're looking to work long term. Now, if it's not going to work, we don't know, but we believe the latter. Those are the two sides. Now, for full transparency, I'm with the latter. And I don't feel, this is my personal feeling, I don't feel that there's enough evidence with the former as time goes on. At the beginning of SG&E's closure, yes, I thought it was a reasonable discussion to have. But as time went on, it's like an American football game. You may have an underdog that is sticking with the main opponent in the first quarter and the second quarter, but in the third and fourth quarter, as the score widens, you know what I mean, as it goes from 7-10 to 7-17 to 24-7 to 35-7. Now you're in the fourth quarter and it's 45-7, and there's only 3 minutes left on the clock to sit there and argue. No, they're going to come back. They're going to come back and win this. That to me, that's not a fathomable discussion, and that signifies what's going on here with the Stadia shutting down talk to me. Anything's possible, but the weight of the evidence, as far as we're concerned, points to this is a reallocation of assets, of funds, to make the product bring more big ticket games faster and day and date. And you're starting to see that. And for those intents and purposes, the product seems better to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So because the facts are separate or starting to separate, and the gap has gotten so wide between that former SG&E signifies Stadia's closing discussion, opposed to, no, this is just a reconfiguration of the business model. I don't think that the Stadia closing discussion is a fathomable conversation to have. Does that mean that I don't think the conversation should be had at all? Absolutely not. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about, you think that Stadia is going to boil people in a basement like Soylent Green, then you have that conversation. That is not up to MM2K to decide whether you have that conversation. I'm just not entertaining that conversation. What we do on this platform is we follow the facts. And the majority of the facts follow that this is a recalibration of the business model. Now there's other pros and cons that we're going to talk about. We'll focus on that. But we feel that the discussion to closure of SG&E just doesn't have enough facts and weight to it. We're not entertaining that right now. And you got a lot of community high profile people that do want to have that discussion. And that's fine. That's up to them. And that's their right. I don't want to have that discussion. I don't want to be distracted from that discussion, because what I find often is that because the facts don't support said discussion, that I go, here goes facts. Now, what do you have to say? What facts do you have in contrast to this? And they don't have any. They just have conjecture and opinion to pivot off of. And I got to go find more facts to deal with conjecture and opinion. That's too distracting. It kills too much time, and it takes the discussion nowhere. So I've unplugged from the internet. I'm not entertaining those discussions anymore. That being said, a lot of people are, and what you have is you have a proxy war. You'll have said content creator under one belief system put out a tweet that supports their belief system, and then you have another content creator or whatever, or just a community member, whatever, I don't want to say just, but a community member, go out and subtweet about that and get their people all revved up. Oh yeah. And then the other people get revved up. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes a proxy war, right? Under that notion. I've unplugged. I miss a lot of that stuff. However, somebody sent me something and said, oh yeah, I think this is a subtweet to you. And I looked at it, and at first glance I said, I don't care. This is the stuff that I'm plugging from. Come on now, I don't care. But then I noticed I happened to opine, I'll be honest, to opine and notice who supported said comment. And that's where I was troubled. Here's why. It's following a plea from a fellow gamer. There's no other way to describe it. A plea from a fellow gamer, cloud gamer, who bought Death Stranding on GFN, and for 15 days he has not had access to the game. He bought the Steam version, and for all intents and purposes, the Steam version of Death Stranding is quote unquote under maintenance. And it's been that way for 15 days. And according to this individual, from what I could see, there was no ETA given, no follow-up given, nothing anywhere that signifies what they're doing about this or how this is being resolved. And the backdrop to this is that this isn't the first time this happened. This happened with Apex Legends. And if you follow the Cloud Gamer Chronicle pilot episodes, you would have heard the episode that we just released prior to this one, pilot episode 3, where me and my son, who's huge, he's huge on GFN, it's his preferred way to play. We talk about that there, how it happened with Apex Legends. Now, what we were in the middle of doing is investigating Apex Legends, because from what we understood from him is that it was causing an uproar when that happened, because the Steam version of Apex Legends was under maintenance, and you can't swap your DLC on the Steam version for the Origins version that's also available on GFN. We wanted to investigate that before we went widespread with this, but we still made it public not too long ago anyway, just for people to entertain the discussion, to entertain and hear the discussion. From what I understand, that recently got fixed as well too. It got fixed after we originally aired that, which was about a week ago. So in between when we aired that till now, it got fixed, and my son was actually playing Apex Legends this past Sunday via GFN on Steam. So we're glad that finally got fixed, and it was in that state for a few months, from what I understand, with no ETAs given, according to what my son was telling me. All right, so you have a gamer that bought said game, can't access it after his purchase, and he's making a plea. I don't understand, he says, why this isn't getting more coverage. So I retweeted it and I said, yes, it's important, and I agree. It's important that we give this more coverage, because this is symptomatic of something potentially. And we need to talk about this, because this person can't access his purchase. Now, the tweet I was showing, had responded to, and I don't know if it was a subtweet to me. It probably was even sent before mine. Who knows? I don't care. But it was in response to, I don't know what it was in response to, but it was in the realm of, rather, yeah, it's bad that this is happening with GFN, and it's bad when things happen with Stadia, and it's indicative of both entities to address this and provide ETAs. Right? Nothing wrong with the tweet. I'm not trying to give the person a pass. I know I get guilt. I'm tagged guilty of that all the time, but no, I don't see nothing wrong with the tweet. What I see a problem with is that tweet is somebody expressing their opinion, and that's fine. But at the heart of the matter, we really do need people that have the megaphone in place to be just as boisterous about this problem as they are with Stadia, if not more. We've had community members and people with that megaphone go ape-ish over PGA 2K21 for crying out loud, not launching at the time that we originally thought it was launching. People didn't put up the money yet, right? Or maybe some people didn't, and they got refunds because you weren't able to boot it up. But people went ape-ish about that and it became big stories. We get big reportings on Logogate, just logos not being available. Here we have a situation where somebody paid their money, can't get a refund because, let me show you something. I can't even do the normal, let me show you something because this is, wrong video. This is a problem. Oh God, why is this, why is the MM2K, now I gotta chuckle at this one. This is absurd. Why is this all over the place? Okay. Let's see if we can fix that. Get to see the sausage being made live on air. Wow, okay, that was a little crazy. If you look at it, it says Valve will give you a refund based upon 14 days of purchase or played less than 2 hours, I guess whatever comes first. Even if you fall outside the refund rules, just submit a request and they'll take a look at it. Here's the problem with that. A lot of people that may be experiencing this that are outside of that. So they got to still submit a request and hope that Steam is going to entertain it. But that's if they bought it directly from Steam. If you got a code from, let's say, Green Man Gaming or CD Keys, which a lot of people do now, opposed to going directly to Steam, they access Steam codes via these third-party vendors and the third-party marketplace because they give heavier discounts. Then you got to go through them. Steam's refund policy doesn't even go into play. You got to go through them. And with them, as soon as you activate that code, you're not getting a refund. In a lot of cases. So I just find this totally unacceptable that people are using certain tweets that are just matter-of-fact tweets, and that's okay. That's fine. Again, I'm not trying. It was just a matter-of-fact tweet as far as I'm concerned. And using that and liking that for all intents and purposes to satisfy their side in the proxy war. But you have a megaphone. You should be saying something. Now I'm airing this 9:15 a.m. Eastern in the States, 6:15 in the West Coast in the States. I want to say maybe 3:15, 2:15 p.m. in UK. If by then we don't hear anything from our greater cloud community or internal greater cloud community talking about this problem, either talking about it as, look, this problem exists and we're looking into it, or, hey, this problem has been resolved, because this is something serious. Despite the matter-of-fact tweet that I referenced earlier, this is the most egregious of them all. This is bigger than a bug or poorly performing game in certain regards. We're talking about people not being able to access their games for weeks and months in the case of Apex Legends, if the whole DLC purchase thing is correct. And no ETA provided, from what we understand, and people's purchases are just in limbo. So we got to get out of this proxy war mind state to where we're looking for a tweet that combats another tweet or a tweet that solidifies our opinion. We got to get back into a place that, regardless of where we fall in this community, that our numero uno thing is looking out for the unsuspecting gamer. And right now, the unsuspecting gamer is under the belief that when you make a purchase on GFN, they ain't got to worry about games being yanked or the games being accessible. All games go down for maintenance here and there, but not for 15 days or not for a few months. So that's why that gamer's plea is so paramount to me and why it's nerve-wracking that we don't see anything. So by the time this airs, if we don't see some resounding announcements from our greater cloud community about this issue, we got a problem. And I don't mean just anybody with cloud in their name or someone that sprinkles in cloud information. I'm talking about those entities that have a heavy focus on cloud reporting, and every single thing that happened with Stadia, they were on it. Something's coming up with Stadia, they were on it. And I'm not just talking one entity either. There's a few. We gotta get out of this proxy war mind state. We gotta get back to a place to where, even though we want to discuss where we fall out on this whole thing about Stadia, we don't let it rot our thought process. That's what it's doing, is rotting our thought process to where somebody can make this plea and we're not running around like chickens with our heads cut off. So I'm making the plea. We don't have the Cloud Gamer Chronicles up fully. We're talking to some partners and seeing what they could do early, because we're not set to launch yet. So we'll see what we can derive. But for those of you, this ain't about battling publications and all this other stuff. For those of you that have the resources right now, if you haven't looked into this fully and reported on it yet, hopefully within the hour, because it shouldn't have taken you this long. Hopefully within the hour, y'all can find something. Either, oh, this is what's really going on. It's different from what we understood. There is an ETA or this, that, and the other, and hopefully there's some daylight coming, or, oh, this has been resolved, or, oh, this is a problem, and yes, somebody seriously dropped the ball on this. We should get Journey to the Savage Planet style reporting on this and beyond. We had a subsection of the community that had problems with Journey to the Savage Planet, and everybody was all over it, internally and externally. So at least internally, we should be on this. People can't even access the game. That's a problem. All right? So those are my words. Yes, I am putting the community to task for this one. Hopefully we live up to the task. And we'll see what you guys do an hour from now. And with that said, this is MM2K for Cloud Gamer Chronicles. Until next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.